turn to page 19. And at the very bottom of page 19 is letter F. It's a practice problem, letter F. We're going to do that one together. And you can just write right in the workbook. Okay, so I just put on a separate paper, but it's the same problem. So let's see. Aubrey can walk 4.5 miles in 1.5 hours. Find her average speed in, now here's the clue, miles per hour. That means in 1 hour. Miles in 1 hour. So what we're looking for, you have miles, you have hour. In 1 hour, how fast is she going? Okay, so look at the information then. We have miles per hour. You put the same units down there, miles and hours. 4.5 miles. Well, that goes with this miles. It goes on top. 4.5. Excuse me. 4.5. And over here, 1.5 hours. Hours, 1.5. So you can see that when doing unit rate, remember, we just divide top and the bottom together. So rewrite it and then solve it. So we have 4.5 divided by 1.5. 1.5. All right. Well, you know what? Sometimes it's easier just to make them fractions first and then change it. So I'm going to do the times plus. So 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1. 8 plus 1 makes 9. Zoom in a little bit more. And then I'm just keeping it divide for right now. And then this, you don't have to. You can wait if you want to. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Okay, so I'm making an extra step here. So let's see, I'm going to keep this, change this, and flip it. Or do multiply by the reciprocal. So that makes 2 over 3. Okay, if you don't want to reduce now, you can reduce later. I'm going to reduce now because I can see 2's go in there once. Oh, I can see 3's go in here. 3 goes in here once. 3 goes into 9 3 times. So what do we have? On top, we have a 3 times a 1. And 1 times 1. So the answer is 3. 3 is the answer. Here it is. 3. 3 miles per 1 hour. Okay, so that was letter F. Let's go ahead and turn the page, please. And let's go to number 4. Right here, number 4. You can just write right in there if you like. All right, so number 4. I'm going to skip on ahead and see what it's asking for. It says, find the number of buttons the Peps Club makes per hour. Per hour. So we know that we want to know how many. I'll just use B for buttons. I could say but. Okay, buttons. Okay, you could just say B for buttons. Excuse me. All right, and 1 hour because it says per hour. So 1 hour. All right, I'm just going to use B for buttons. So buttons per hour. Buttons per hour. And so what information are we given? Let's see. Pep Club members are making spirit buttons. This is like the ASB Club. And they make 490 spirit buttons. They make 490 of these in 3.5 hours. So we put those numbers. 490 buttons, 3.5 hours. That is the problem right there. That's our problem. That's the problem from the book. 490 divided by 3.5. So I just write it to the side, rewrite it, sideways. 490 divided by 3.5. All right, now you know you're going to keep this one. Big numbers, but you'll see they'll reduce easily. You're going to multiply and the reciprocal, but first make this a fraction. I'll write it to the side. So I'm going to do the times and the plus. 2 times 3 plus 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Okay, so this is what I need to flip. And there we go. Okay, can you see something that you can reduce? Can you see that 7 goes into 49? Right? 7 goes in here once. 7 times 7 is 49. So this must be 70. All right, and then go straight across now. I have a 70 and a 2. 70 times 2. 7 times 2 is 14. Add a 0. So 140 over 1. So 140. That's our answer. 140. It's 140 buttons per hour. That's how fast they can make buttons. 140 buttons per hour. Okay, just a side note, when doing these problems, if you want to, for example, we said it's miles per hour, miles per 1 hour, you could do this, do that, and then put the information on this side. That's okay. Then you could say, oh, it's 4.5 every 1.5 hours. You could do that. And then calculate it. If that's easier than writing it this way. Same thing on this one. So if you look at what they're asking for buttons per hour. If you want to, start off by saying buttons per 1 hour. And then you look at the information you have. You have 490 buttons, 3.5 hours. Okay, so you could do this, write it this way, and then figure out your answer. It doesn't matter if it's over here, it's over here. It's just sometimes it's easier for people to see this. Your choice.